Hello everyone, and we're back for another installment of my vlog. Yeah, some things have practically changed about my vlog. I don't know if you've noticed, we are at eye level now. You and I are now at eye level. You're not having to look at the bottom of my chin, my double chin sometimes, and I haven't got to worry about my phone slipping around because I've finally decided to get a camera stand. Yes, she has gone and done it. I thought it was about time. And not only did I get a camera stand, I've even got one of these microphones, so you might be able to hear me a little bit better. I have, because I live on a main road, I've got background noise constantly with cars going past, and I thought maybe I should also get one of those. So hopefully you can hear me nice and loud and clear. And I've also invested, I don't know if you can see it yet, but this thing, and you can probably see it in the reflection of my glasses, in one of these light rings, so that you can see this beautiful face light up more clearly than ever before. So yeah, and I guess what I want to say about that is that, yeah, I just wanted to do these things because it's about the experience of sharing, wanting to bring you and myself, because I do watch this, bring content that just has a feel about it as well. It's not always about what I'm saying, it's about, what you're seeing, how it's being said, how it's being heard. So I've started to invest a little bit more in the technicalities of doing this vlog, and I guess with doing it, like investing in this way, I'm becoming more personally invested in it. Since having started these vlogs, I've grown in all kinds of ways, and this is part of the growth. It's part of the, when you decide to take a different path, it's about you putting that foot forward and then putting the next foot forward. And this is it. This is me putting the next foot forward and the next foot forward. This is how it looks. This whole investing in myself and my self-exploration. So from a more technical aspect, this is how it looks, and that's part of it, right? It's not just about what's going on in here or what's going on in your body. It's things that you're bringing into your life that are part of that as well, and these things are as well. So I thought I'd just give you a little update on how the process of making these vlogs is going. And today I've decided to focus on meditating. And the reason I want to talk about that is because last week I decided to spend a bit more time practicing. I've mentioned this before. I've been doing meditation for, I don't know, on and off, maybe for a couple of years, if that. And then I've also mentioned that early this year I went on a 5-night silent retreat at Sharpham Trust, which was exactly what I needed at that point in time, and it was just before we went into lockdown as a country. And as part of the Sisterhood Circle, which is something that I've mentioned before, network of women coming together on a journey of self-discovery, as well as sharing it with one another and finding support from each other, as well as finding your own resources to get through what you're going through. So we're on, I think, is it month 3, and part of the exploration for month 3 is meditation. And I felt called last week actually to do, not that kind of called, but I guess from an intuitive feeling as well as higher power feelings, two-way process, to explore meditation. It's been on and off, as I said, but last week I decided to spend some time doing it. So previously, when I've done meditation, the place where it really, I feel like I can connect with myself the best is when I'm outdoors and I have a park near and I go for a walk quite regularly, and I'll go and sit at a bench and I'll do my meditation, maybe about 20 minutes, and then I'll come home. But last week I decided to try it out at home, and I've done this as well on and off, but I guess last week felt like it was the first time where I was like, yes, I really do want to give this a go. I want to try this. I want to explore this in my home space. And as I've said, I live on a busy road, so it is really the early mornings or the late evenings where the environment around me is quieter, where I find that I can do it, I guess, with less resistance. You know, sometimes we've got to just work with what we've got, but when you're learning, sometimes it's easier to create a more conducive environment. So I'm not a morning person, really. At the moment, I'm not. I don't think I've really ever been one. So with that in mind, last week I decided to dedicate an evening session towards meditation, and it was after I'd had dinner. In fact, it was after I'd spoken to one of the sisters in the sisterhood circle that's in my group, and I said to her on the call, talking is requires a lot of energy from me, so I guess this is quite high energy for me, and I've learned over the last couple of years to become more like to build a relationship with my body more, and meditation is a way of bringing that to life and experiencing things from a bodily perspective, not just through talk. So I said to her, I think I'm sensing that I want to do this after our conversation. So we finished up talking, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I've said it now, I've shared it with someone, and I'm now going to do this. So I want to share like how I do it, because maybe it'll inspire someone out there to give this a go as well. So I have invested in a meditation bench, and that's only really come out like last week and maybe a few other occasions. There is something about how you sit, how the seat that you create for yourself. It's so important, because it's where you're going to spend the next however long, even if it's just a couple of minutes, you're going to spend time in that position, and you want to feel comfortable. You might not want to go as far as buying yourself a meditation bench or a seat. You could just start off cross-legged on the floor or sitting in a chair. But whatever you choose in terms of your seated posture, choose something that you know you're going to be comfortable with for at least 5 minutes. I'm going to say 5 minutes, because even if you only do it a couple of minutes, imagine yourself in that position longer. So that then sets your expectation of, okay, I'm keeping this posture for this amount of time. So I set my seat up, ensured that, and I have a kneeling down position with the seat. Some people have a cross-legged on the meditation bench, but I find having my knees on the floor and my feet coming out from underneath the bench is the best position for me. And I ensure that my feet are really comfortable, because I think when you take that kneeled down position, I found when I was on my retreat that my ankles really started hurting and the tops of my feet were actually feeling a bit sore. So rolling a little blanket underneath the feet so that your feet aren't like coming into contact and that pressure isn't there. Right, thought I'd wait for that to go past. So I took that position in terms of how I was seated, and then I also decided to light some candles and position them. So I decided to turn the lights off in the room, and I positioned a little clock not directly in front of me, just to the right of me, and then I put some candles near that. I also had a smelly candle, and I had that around me as well. There was no music. I chose not to listen to anything, and I can understand the benefits of that, but I think this kind of meditation practice that I'm trying to put in place, I guess I want less of the external and more of the internal. So that may not be how someone listening to this wants to do it. If you want to put some music on, because I have done that before. I've also listened to meditation guidance, so you could do it that way. But I guess if you've not tried this, the invitation is there. Why not sit in sit in silence. I find it's a different experience, and it's a dropping in experience. So yeah, so I set that up, and I sat like that for about 20 minutes in the end, and I think I was done by 10. So I did start this quite late. 10 in the evening was when I finished up, and yeah, I guess there's also something to share around the experience of it. So I think maybe for the first, 5, maybe even 10 minutes, there's all kinds of things that are coming in and going out of my being. But then I find, like, and this is, it's not about doing it for longer, because that makes you more spiritual or more hardcore, it's not, this is not where I'm going with that. But I think what I want to say about the duration is that if you do it longer, if you practice longer, you're allowing yourself that exploration, that experience, the thoughts coming in, the thoughts going out. And then, at least with my experience, there's this kind of settling in to where I'm at. And I don't think that would happen if I only did it for 5 minutes. And yeah, I guess I'm just sharing that because maybe you've tried it, but you've only given yourself a limited amount of time, because there is this kind of, I'm just dipping my toe in, just want to see what it does for me. Give yourself enough time for you to work through whatever is going on for you at that point in time, so that you do get to a point during the 20 minutes, for example, where even if it is just for a minute, even if it is just for 30 seconds, you've managed to settle. You've managed to just let go of whatever has been going on for you prior, or whatever has been going on for you for quite a while now. Giving yourself a real go at it, so that you can experience. What comes to mind, the word I want to use here is it's almost like the treacle, the honey of it, You're giving yourself that opportunity to taste the nectar of meditation, because when you have given yourself that space and you do get to that taste, or whatever you want to call it, it is a really lovely feeling, and quite peaceful and satisfying. At least that's my experience of it. Yeah, so think about how you seat yourself. Think about your environment. You know, are you setting it up so that it's created a bit of an ambience for you to really want to be there, you know? So whatever it is, your little kind of knickknacks that you need around you, whether that's candles, whether that's something else, like, you know, make it comfortable, make it a place that you want to genuinely be. And also, thirdly, give yourself time to process, digest, actually arrive at this place that you're at, where you're choosing to sit yourself down and be with this experience. And then that time then enables you to settle. So those are the 3 things that I'm going to share around what works for me, and maybe it's something that could work for you as well. I'd love to hear if it has, or if you've got other techniques or practices that you'd like to share. So feel free to comment on those things, and also give me a like if you're liking what I'm talking about. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to now love you and leave you and see you next week. Bye.